This is Deborah Atkinson, and you're listening to Flipping 50, where I address your top questions and struggles. I share what to eat and how to move and to think to get the energy and the vitality you want in this second and better half. This post is all about interval training workouts you can do during the holidays and busy times any time of year and why they work. I'm sharing my interval training guide that includes 7 workouts plus 2 little travel workouts you can do without equipment in a hotel room or in the guest room before your hosts even wake up. You can overdo a good thing though. So if you're an overachiever, listen all the way through. Before we dive in though, this episode is sponsored by CBD for Life. Lately, I am asked so very often whether CBD is safe, effective, and whether I use it. There are 2 reasons I've been using CBD for Life products during the last couple of months. Number 1, inflammation. I have it from both mold and endurance training that I've been doing this year. And number 2, muscle soreness from said endurance training, specifically long bike rides. But you don't have to have been exposed to mold or be training for an endurance event. If you're a woman in midlife going through hormone changes and you're not getting results you think you should be getting no matter what you do, and you have the gamut of skin issues from dry and crepey to breakouts, CBD is a great tool for reducing inflammation. Life and the cumulative effect of our exposure to toxins can take a toll on anyone. Unlike some of the other things that you can do to restore balance and reduce inflammation, this one is pleasant. The CBD for Life products smell wonderful. It's like a relaxing treat. So here's the thing about interval training. Short on time? Lucky you. It might just save you from yourself. Any self-respecting woman over 50 almost can't help herself from exercising in a way that'll make her feel worse, not better. And what I mean by that is this. You can likely remember the day when you went to hour-long aerobics classes and then you did more time in the cardio equipment. The longer you worked out, the more fit you would get, or so you thought. That was just the thought of the day when it comes to fitness. More is better. Having just recently finished Ironman Cozumel, I'm happy to be doing 20 minutes of exercise this month. And so is my body. Too much cardio causes inflammation and weight gain, especially when you're in the middle of menopause storms. I'm Exhibit A. If I'm sharing the gory details, I gained 9 pounds this year during training. Not loving that. And no, it's not muscle. If you think that more exercise and more intensity is the answer, I can assure you it is not. The body will either store more fat or fail to release fat if you are tipping that cortisol scale in the wrong direction. And during the many hormone changes during menopause, you're more susceptible to the negative effects of outside sources of stress too. In my case, mold exposure is probably a big factor for me, but exposure to toxins can easily affect any of us. And you'll hear more about that in an upcoming podcast with a good friend of mine. Exercise of any type is stress. A reasonable amount of stress for your body is okay. Too much when considering all else going on in your body and mind, and you'll have an extremely hard time losing weight. Less is more when it comes to exercise. And for the woman who wants good results without tons of time to spend, interval training is the answer. One major mistake women write me every day is that they don't have time to make exercise a full-time job. Here's the good news. That would be a complete mistake. So it's really important that if you seek balance, and yes, you move, but that you do not exercise for hours a day. Have you ever been to the Clinique counter? You've done that skin test where you slide the bars over your answer in response to questions, and then you get the best skin products for you. Well, similar to that, the After 50 fitness formula for women, the formula is based on the signs and the symptoms your hormones are messaging you with. They tell us simply what you should be doing, how it's working, and how to adjust. A key in the formula is shorter, intense workouts. And it's really best to ditch those hour-long classes and runs, even if your head thinks you need them, if it's not getting you results you want. More of what isn't working isn't going to suddenly get better results. So your holiday craziness, from decking the halls to shoveling snows to shopping on your feet rather than online, to skiing with the family and charades at the office party, they all count. Don't wish it away, embrace it. Back in your 20s and 30s, you may remember then the belief was that if you didn't have at least 20 minutes, it really wasn't worth it. Plus, all the skinny girls were on the Stairmaster for at least an hour. If you try that now, you'll probably gain weight, not lose it, and be so tired tomorrow that you won't want to get up. Trying to exercise the way you did when you were 20 or 30 is going to make you less fit, feel worse, and potentially make you resistant to weight loss. The trick? Say a little thank you for that list you're checking twice this month. All you need is about 20 minutes to get a good interval training session in. Even as little as 10 minutes can be effective. The advantages of interval training workouts after 50 are many. You boost your energy instead of draining it. You increase your fast twitch muscle fiber. And I've written and talked so much about that recently. I will link you to the other media appearances I've made rather than drone on here. You balance as opposed to trashing your hormones. And you actually look forward to instead of dreading it. And you can use any exercise mode that you enjoy and have access to. There's no equipment required. Don't forget your copy of my 7 simple interval training workouts guide in the show notes for this episode. So be sure that you visit the show notes where you can download the book directly from the link. No opt-in required. Consider it my gift to you this season. If you're working, you're wrapping, and you're doing those intervals, you may need a little pampering too, so don't forget 2 products that I'm especially loving in the CBD for Life line is the CBD for Life rub. I use it on my feet, and I used it 2 weeks ago when they were full of blisters after that Ironman, and on areas under my arms that chafed during the 2.4-mile swim. And the second product I'm loving is the lemongrass roll-on oil. It's exactly what I put on my upper back and my neck before I go for a long bike ride and right after. Lifesaver. And if you're thinking, I have no desire to spend hours on a bike, if you spend 8 hours riding your desk and your keyboard, and like most women, you hold your tension in your neck, you will love this too. I carry one of those CBD for Life rollers around in my purse, and I've got one in the top drawer of my desk. And there's no need to worry. This time of year that you don't have time or you can't get to the gym, there's so many things that you can do right at home, even in the smallest of spaces, at home or traveling. If I left something out and you've got questions about interval training, leave them below the show link at flipping50.com/interval-training. I love hearing from you. And if this episode was helpful, please leave a rating in iTunes and then share it with a friend. Surround yourself with a supportive community of women on the same journey. And the last reminder, if you're looking for stocking stuffers right now, or those gifts that it's oh so smart to have ready for last minute guests or getting caught empty handed, CBD for Life products are high quality for men or women. All the CBD for Life products, they're third party tested, free of GMOs and parabens, phthalates, and artificial coloring. And that's all super important to me. And if you know me, you also know my affinity for all things Colorado, where this is sourced from organically farmed hemp. So thanks, CBD for Life, for keeping me comfortable doing all the crazy activities of living that I love. And I'll link to it in the show notes just in case you're interested. And again, that's flipping50.com/interval-training, where you'll find the juicy downloads and connections to the things I've talked about today. And what are you waiting for? Let's start flipping 50 together.